Welcome to the NFL show recap of week 1. It is not all the way over yet. We still got Sunday night to go and we have Monday. But we are going to talk a little bit about what went on and maybe a little bit of a look ahead and see what's going on. I am Cav Manning. I am along with Billy Body. We go to a website called patreon.com/NFL Pick 6. And that is the number 6 at the end. You sign up. We each give you 3 picks for the week. We put out a show on lock betting where you could hear our rundown. I do half the week. He does half the week. And then we give you our picks on that Patreon. And we're going to talk about a little bit of that and how it went this week. Billy boy, happy football Sunday.
Yeah, I'm not happy with how it started overall. I should have got my shit in early because my favorite play this week. No, not in terms of that, but I gave my I gave out a teaser to the guys over at Lock Betting right at the start, but I didn't want to start six pack with that just because I wanted to give people time to kind of get things rolling on Sunday, and I think people prefer to look at what we have on Sunday. But yeah, the guys over at Lock Betting got the bet that I had teed up right at the beginning of, like, not the beginning of the season, but as soon as we kind of knew what the schedule was going to be. That was taking, how many points did they get? 9, adding 9 points to the Ravens and parlaying it with the 8 points to the Packers. So that like kind of 2-team tease, kind of what we were doing last year. So I gave the points to those 2 teams in prime time. I didn't talk about it on the podcast because you've got those games, but yeah, I wish I'd given that out on six pack because already the lock betting guys were starting ahead today. So it wasn't so much of a bad day for them. Obviously the six pack was where I've gone 1 and 3 with a bonus pick there. And you've had a better day where you've gone 2 and 1, but it was a lot of weird stuff today.
It's always week 1. And on my show, I say it multiple times. I said, be careful. Week 1 is fucking weird. It's just always, you don't fucking know. So it's a very careful betting week, for sure.
But not just in that, in terms of how I've handicapped the NFL and how I've been successful with it for mainly the last 3 years. I've always had winning years in it. I've always managed to either get right or I've started hot and then kind of lost my way a little bit and then got it back together, or I've had a good regular season and pulled it back together in a postseason, or whatever the structure may be. I've always managed to make a profit. But the last 3 years in particular, it's just been a consistent blitz since COVID. And I've really been in a groove. But what I noticed coming into this week, and I was concerned about it today, I was concerned about it this morning, and it was proven to be correct, was a lot of podcasts that I listen to don't normally do this were on a lot of my picks and had the same kind of philosophy, talking about week 1 underdogs and week 1 unders and divisional underdogs, and they kind of picked up all the same stats and all the same numbers. And that shouldn't be a big surprise because all of that stuff is out there. But it was the sheer volume. Now, there's ones that I respect that usually do pick up that stuff, and there's garbage ones. But these people seem to have more publicity, more of a following, and I always listen to them. And I listen to them for the pure reason of what your picks are bad. So why the fuck do you have hundreds of thousands of people listening to you? How are you conjuring up this audience? I don't understand it, but I still listen to them. To try and see, is it their personality? Is it their structure? Is it a quick show? Is it a long show? Is it because they have a girl on? Because some of these guys now, they have these women on, these bimbos who don't know anything about. Well, they know about football now. To be fair to them, some of them do know, how to speak about it, but they don't know how to really give out winning picks. And even if they did, I'm probably one of those people that would turn around and think that they were given the picks if they suddenly started to improve. I think to myself, oh, their husband's giving it to them now, or their boyfriend's giving it to them now, or somebody's behind these picks and they're just the mouthpiece. So I'm not really a fan of women doing sports betting content because a part of me it gets pissed off about how they just get a big following straight away. But regardless, I listened to all of this shit this week, and constantly coming up was Carolina Panthers, Carolina Panthers, Carolina Panthers, Carolina Panthers. And by the time I put out my picks, I almost didn't want to have the Carolina Panthers anymore. But I'd had them circled for so long, and this was a spot that made so much sense historically. This was your automatic winner. You go against the coach who's horrible against the spread. Derek Carr's horrible against the spread as a favorite. The Panthers are a divisional dog. They were horrible last year. So you also want to see the public turn around and go, oh, I can't wait to bet against the Carolina Panthers. I can't wait to take them to lose by more than 4. So you got everything there that makes the pick. But as I was listening to more and more shows, the way it works in my mind is I don't want all these people with me. I don't want every single podcaster with me. I don't want every single YouTuber or writer with me, because that would mean that gambling is easy. And if everybody started following, if every tipster was good at their job, then the bookies would lose money. And there hasn't been a single season in history where the bookies have made a loss in the National Football League. So that's why I started to get paranoid. So I had these weird feelings before, but I was just so surprised about how aligned with the picks were, and how much of the same information was coming up. Some of it was right, like Pittsburgh to cover, and Tomlin as an underdog, and Tomlin unders as the Steelers coach. Yeah, all of that shit continued to roll on. But then again, with you guys, the Chicago Bears, what I heard over and over and over again: a number one pick hasn't won for 15 years. Number one pick hasn't won for 15 years. Everybody had it. To that point, I thought, fucking hell, I'm now worried that Caleb Williams is going to win. And the thing is that winning was one thing, but the 4 points was the other. So I thought to myself, nobody's talking about the 4 points. They're like, them coming back and winning by 4. They're mainly talking about the straight up record. So I thought maybe the straight up record would be good enough for Bears fans just to win. I don't think Bears fans gave a shit. They covered the spread. They just wanted to fucking win this game today. But then the way it ended up happening, I mean, at halftime, I was sitting on a winner. I was sitting on a decent start to the morning games. It's crazy, like how one swings it, because me talking on here, being 2 on 2 and 2 of the 6-pack, and then making a profit at lock betting today, no one gives a shit about anything. Suddenly, I'm slightly down at lock betting, 1.3 units, and 2 units down on the 6-pack, and it's all because that one game has swung the entire day. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Obviously, you can't be looking at your quarterback and thinking, oh my God, he's the real deal. That's impressive, because the whole game is swung on defensive turnovers. So I don't really know what you take away from that, other than the fact that he will now go down in history as somebody who has broken that trend. 15 quarterbacks in a row in his position didn't win, and he did. They're the facts.
So when that whole stat thing, I threw that stat so out of the window, because it's so, I mean, he didn't do great today at all. But that stat is for a team that, like, they rightfully get the number one pick. So the team has usually been dog piss. This team was not the number one pick, but they got the number one pick. So this team has a lot of shit around it. I mean, there's 3 monster receivers. They have 2 tight ends. They have the fucking Swift in the backfield. And they have a fucking top 5 defense. So I was like, I really didn't think it would be as close as it fucking was, or as bad as it fucking was. And I was like, yeah, I don't qualify that as a real first pick, because of where they got him. It wasn't a legitimate fucking garbage team that had the first pick. So that's what got me on that one for sure. It was very much like that Arizona game, the Bears, who were we thought they were. If you want to crown them, crown their ass, because that game they didn't score an offensive touchdown either. And it was all fucking kicking and fucking kick returns and defense scoring. It's the same thing here. The defense is so fucking good, and Levis throwing stupid shit. really fucking saved their ass. And Caleb said everything right. Like, fucking thank God for the rest of the fucking team because he was off like a motherfucker. So, and you know what? I'm not one to go, oh, fucking one game. Fuck this. It's over. This guy sucks now. Because we saw Jordan Love last year. How many fucking games did he suck in the beginning? And you were like, fuck this guy. Let's get a new one. He's horrible. And then he got his fucking footing under him. You got to get your shit going and stuff like that. And I get it. It's a rookie quarterback too, so take a little time. You can't go fucking crazy. But I'm like, today my games were that I won on our package on patreon.com/NFL 6-pack or pick six. Sorry, NFL pick six. And that was ATL and Pittsburgh going under 42. Hell, they fucking barely scored fucking 20. And then I had Arizona plus 12 and Cowboys plus 8 as a teaser. That one, Carolina killed me. I had them plus 10 and I had the Raiders plus 9 to team up together too. And I thought backdoor would cover on Carolina, but they're as shitty as they probably are going to be still. I mean, if New Orleans beat the fuck out of them, and New Orleans I don't think is that fucking great anyway. There's not a lot of lines next week that have come out. I think actually there's like 3 or 4. It's Miami minus 1.5 against the Bills. It's Baltimore minus 8 against the Raiders. It is the Jets, which is odd that they'd be a Jets one because they haven't played tomorrow. The Jets minus 3.5 against the Titans. And then you have the last one is Detroit minus 6.5 against the Bucks, which Detroit hasn't played yet either today. So, I mean, you could blow out your fucking knees and like Billy's guy did. Although he's only out, a couple weeks, maybe a month. But you got a nice cush schedule to start at least. But I don't know if Malik Willis can fucking do anything. But the team is very good. So that's something to look at coming up. But the games, I'll just roll through what the matchups are next week. And it's Bills, Dolphins, Bears, Texans, Raiders, Ravens, Browns, Jags, Jets, Titans, Niners, Vikings, Chargers, Panthers, Seahawks, Patriots, Saints, Cowboys, which is going to be the game of the week, which is weird. I'm like, why? I think the Cowboys should kill them. Giants, Commanders, Bucks, Lions, Colts, Packers. That could actually be rough because the Colts don't look complete shit now. The Rams, Cardinals, Steelers, Broncos, Bengals, Chiefs, and on Monday is Falcons, Eagles. There's a few locks, I think, in there.
I have lines for most of these.
Oh, wow.
Ravens are 9.5.
We did Ravens, yep.
Panthers are getting 4.5 points at home to the Chargers. Cowboys are 6.5 point favorites against the Saints. Packers are now getting 3 points at home to the Colts. Jaguars are 3.5 point favorites against the Browns. The Vikings are 5.5 point underdogs at home to the San Francisco 49ers. Patriots are getting 3.5 points against Seattle. The Commanders are 2.5 point favorites at home to the Giants. The Cardinals are getting 2.5 at home to the Rams. The Broncos are getting 2.5 at home to the Steelers. The Chiefs are 6.5 point favorites at home to the Bengals. I would have been interested to see what that was before the Bengals lost.
Bengals with their start. There's always shit in the start. It's always their fucking. It's unbelievable how many people lost the fucking eliminator. I did.
The Bills are getting 6.5 points. The Bears are getting 6.5 points at Texas and against Texas. And the last one is the Eagles are 5.5 point favorites at home to the Falcons.
Yeah, there's a few in there we're going to be playing with as I do my half and Billy does his half, and we air it on that lock betting on this, where you're hearing this. So please just subscribe and listen to that. Season has just begun, and we are just getting our footing here because, like I said, that first beginning, and I will tell you this from experience of seeing Billy's bets and knowing how he does over these last years with this. When he has a bad week, which I would say that was a bad week because he gave a bonus and that saved him to get a win. bank on his next week, because I don't remember you going 2 weeks that were rough before. So I would think you're going to be rolling.
I've gone 2 weeks before. There was a season, I can't remember what it was. I had a good week. And I had an 0-7. I had an 0-7 week in a week 2 once. And I did not follow it up with a win in week 3. I think I kind of was 4-4, but 4-4 is a loss. And then I think, I got it back on week 4, 5, and he ended up having a winning season in the end. But this one feels like it might take a little bit of time to really like reel off one of those big sweep weeks. Just because this.
So I like teasers at the beginning, because when you're like, it's close, it's like, do the teaser. You get a lot more points, or and all that. So I think that in the beginning, that's the a good strategy.
Yeah, it is one way to go. And then this week as well, week 1, there was an opportunity to look at your favorite unders. I split unders today. I had your under, which is one of the first unders I gave out, because I already had your under out as a free play. I already decided it was going to be my free play, because that entices engagement and gets us signups across both platforms. So that was why I was happy to see it there. I took your under straight away. As we're talking, a line moved for Vegas and the Ravens. The Ravens are now 9-point favorites.
A lot of people got ejected. We'll see if they get fucking kept out of the game for next week too.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to seeing Hill being thrown on the ground and handcuffed before the game too.
Yeah, it's just this is what I mean. It's like crazy shit is happening already. It was Love out. We had that arrest. We had Deshaun Watson's dad playing badly, although I don't know. Playing badly. His dad died, and then he played badly.
Oh,
but I don't think that would have made any difference, because he's been back. Oh yeah, I think Deshaun Watson's dad died like a couple of days before the game.
Jeez.
We had a lot of focus throughout the day on Tom Brady coming into the building. Tom Brady has said this on commentary, and Tom Brady thinks that, like, they kept going back to show a replay of what Tom had said about. It was fucking stupid. They were showing him walking into the building. They said, "We don't often do this. We don't often like go to an entrance. We're showing a commentator coming into the building, but this is not any commentator. This is Tom Brady making his debut on whatever fucking channel he was on over there." But yeah, that was
my nightmare is he was going to fill in and go to the Packers for the year. Kill myself.
He was all right though, from what I heard.
He was fine. There wasn't anything like, oh, what the fuck is it? I mean, and I'm sure he'll get a lot smoother as time goes on, but fucking guy just left the fucking game. So he's going to be able to tell you about like certain reads and all that kind of shit. So it's, same type of shit like Romo. So yeah, he's fine. There was no fucking, oh, he's great, or there was no, oh, he sucks. He's fine. So yeah, it was interesting. And I was like, well, that was the game I was watching too. So I made sure I wanted to hear it, see what he had to say. But that is, I think that's where we're going to leave you guys. Make sure you sign up at patreon.com/NFL Pick 6. The number 6, you're going to get our picks, 3 from me, 3 from Billy. Sometimes we'll throw in a bonus just because. But you could sign up there and get our season-long show the whole time. For Mr. Billy Body, I am Cav Manning. Good gambling, and we'll see you next week.
He could go all the way.